Good morning. No. Yes, okay, hold on. Well, everything that can break is breaking. So, good morning. We're using one computer today. My second computer will not connect. So, bear with me. I'm going to go a little slower today. My plumbing issues are not better. They're coming back tomorrow. They've been here every day for the last 5 days. Gotten to know each other very well. Okay. New member, thank you. Okay. My internet is in and out, so it's knocking everything else in and out. Let's see if we can get this to stay on the screen. Unplug this. Okay, can you guys still hear me? I think you can. All right, new member. Believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. It feels like needing to get yourself in a mode to receive in order to get your next step. Instead of give, try allowing yourself to receive without feeling like you immediately need to give back. Happy birthday. What message does your grandma have for you? What message does your grandma have for you? The Emperor and Queen of Pentacles. Why is it giving that quote, if you build it, they will come? It's like you're trying to find your people or you're trying to create something on your foundation. And the message is to just start carrying the bricks and building it. A reference to summertime, and if you need to reconnect with me, go outside in the sun. Shining light on the fact that you already have the bricks and the tools to build something. Oh, what was that song? Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. Is Jay happy in his new relationship with D? Is Jay happy in his new relationship with D? It feels like a little bit of an ego thing here. Four of Wands is reversed, so it's like not a clear reflection. It's allowing avoidance of something that doesn't feel ready to be seen yet. So it feels like happy, yes, but happy because the relationship's allowing them to avoid a wound. Any messages? A piece being out of place, and if you find that piece and shift its place, you restore the balance. So the door is locked here, but Four of Pentacles is foundation. So it's like you built the foundation, but you feel like you can't get out or you can't get in, whichever. It's needing to put something back in place. A piece of information misunderstood. Where you feel stuck, look at what piece of information that you could have misunderstood without realizing that it was misunderstood. Shh. Don't yell at the people. You have to stay there. You have to. Oh, okay. Message for your guides for the rest of the year. Oh, you can't have Red Bull. Ay, ay, ay. Children. Okay. Message from your guides, and she moved my mouse all the way down. It feels like you're longing for some kind of support, but there's something that you're meant to see it through to the end, to completion on your own. You pull yourself out of the battle, and then you attract the support that you thought you needed to make it through the battle, but you make it through the battle on your own, and then as like a reward of that, I guess, the support you were seeking comes in. Almost like so you don't give credit away, if that makes sense, to like an outside source. Andrew's nanny passes a little over a week ago. Does she have a message for him? I feel like maybe she's a little spicy or goofy, but she's like, well, now you're never alone. Like trying to like bring like a lighthearted air to it. Almost like maybe referencing like, I don't know, like now you're never alone. Like a completion of a story is kind of what I'm getting with that, if that makes sense. You've already survived things that could have broken you but didn't. And now you're never alone to go through them again. Oh, the story. Oh, the story was the card. Fix You by Coldplay. And there may be reference to a vintage item or a lighthouse. They are not. Hopefully tomorrow or Monday. Love a song you feel has meaning. Working hard to get out of the battle. Boston by Augustana. You don't know me and you don't wear my chains. Essential yet appealed. Carry all your thoughts across an open field. I think I'll go to Boston. I think I'll start a new life. I'll start it over where no one knows my name. You're becoming someone else on the other end of the battle that you're in. Like all of this light that's being used for the battle is actually light that's getting put in you. And whatever that is, you then use it to get to work. It's like you're shedding who you were ready to outgrow, if that makes sense. Any messages from Daisy? It's always darkest before the dawn. I feel like this is kind of referencing, this is giving me a Christmas reference. So yes, things are heavy during the holiday season, but then there's the rebirth of the new year. So pick something to focus on that's in the new year and allow that to kind of be what pulls you through the potential burdens of the holiday season. Because it feels like there's this, even when I'm happy, I'm feeling sad type of feeling as it pertains to the holidays. And she's like, if you focus on something that's beyond the holiday in those hard moments, you can use that. Message and a song. Damn Regret by the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. The moon is shining bright. The moon is feeling right. People will stare, but we don't care. High above the ground, nowhere to be found. You needed some kind of piece of clarity in order to move forward, but you were blocked from this resurrection until you had this piece of the puzzle. Whatever this was, you're about to get that piece of the puzzle. Is the underbidder my new purchaser, and should I stick to my agreed price with her? Is the underbidder your new purchaser? 10 of Pentacles. I would say that looks like a viable, an option that you won't look back in with regret. You're not going to, this is like 10 years down the road. I'm not beating myself up for that decision. And should I stick to my agreed price with her? You may have to wiggle a little bit. Six of Cups in reverse. Not what it was, but what it is now. It shifts a little. I'd be not a huge shift, but maybe open to like a little bit of a shift if necessary, if it locks that in. How is my friend Patty? We lost contact many years ago and have not heard from her again. Kind of feels like right where you left her. In the same, there's like a lack of change. There's kind of a lack of growth in a sense, like almost like I try and then I take a step back into myself because of some kind of pain here. Kind of feels like similar circumstances that you left her in or last talked to her in. Will I have a successful result from the recent surgery? Luna's staring you all down. Successful result, any complications? Surgery goes well. Healing is, I mean, you do, hold on. Yeah, you do heal. It just takes a little bit longer. Queen of Wands and Ace of Wands in reverse fell on the floor, which kind of confirmed what I was about to say anyway. But like you're fine in doing it. There's just a delay in the healing. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Mobility in some way or energy levels in some way. One of them takes a little bit longer to get back to where it was. Message from my spirit guides. Message from my spirit guides. Something that you look at it as the plans fell apart. You're about to figure out what is the better option that you wouldn't have seen if the plans that you wanted to not fall apart wouldn't have fell apart. This tower isn't an upcoming tower. This tower is the tower you experienced when something didn't go your way, but you're about to see why, or you're about to be given a fresh opportunity. 2 months feels significant for some reason. I'm hearing that. End of November, end of December, end of January. End of January, beginning of February. I made a big lifestyle change over the last 5 to 6 weeks. I'm feeling hopeful. Will it be enough progress to where my doc says surgery is optional? I feel like they may say it's optional, but may still like cover their butt by being like, well, it's optional, but suggest it. Or I feel like you're in that range right there where they're not going to be like, oh, you don't need it now. Or they're not going to be like, oh, totally up to you. I feel like they're going to maybe lean towards suggesting it, but giving the option for it to be optional, if that makes sense. Will it become easier now that I face some unresolved feelings from my past? Yeah, because now you can figure out where the foundation was faulty. Almost like whatever was unresolved from your past. Imagine 4 pillars. And every time you tried to build on top of it, one of the pillars would collapse because they couldn't hold up the weight. And because you didn't realize it was the pillar, you just kept replacing the foundation and then getting like in this sense of being turned around because you're like, no, that's definitely good foundation. What's happening? But it was the pillar. So now you realize it's the pillar, not the foundation. So now you can build the foundation. So basically, yes. Saints and Sailors by Dashboard Confessional. Maybe a concert is significant as like a turning point or something because there's a concert on the little Polaroid. How does my neighbor keep stopping and having long conversations as this is new for us? Or why does? We usually just say hi. Kind of just feels like loneliness. Loneliness and looking at you as someone who would receive conversation well and someone, Queen of Pentacles, grounded. So like, I know if I approach you for conversation, you're not going to run away because I already tested that out with the high. So it feels like that. Like I need someone to talk to and you look like someone who will listen. I've been doing lots of work on my process and feel like I've closed a karmic loop. Yes. Yes, yes. Not closed it as in integrated it, but closed it as in can't do that. Closed it as in you're done the lesson part and now you're in the integration part. Don't knock over the light. How is my mother doing? She has dementia. Sorry, my cat is rubbing herself on the light. I can't put her out of my office today because I think she has anxiety from all of the guys being here the last couple of days. So if I put her out of the office, she just stands at the door and screams at the top of her lungs. So we're having a little separation anxiety party. How's my mother doing? I want to word this as like a slow decline. Almost like a lot more is happening internally. Like it's kind of giving circuits kind of coming offline slowly. Three of Cups in reverse kind of gives me this energy of confusion here. Like I'm having more trouble now in terms of confusion and decision making. So I would say focusing on that area, confusion around how to make decisions or when to make decisions or why to make decisions feels to be increasing. What messages do I need to know about my dog, Freya? She feels very loved and protected. Just maybe wants more action with King of Wands in reverse, but otherwise feels very loved and taken care of. I asked why more action, and I feel like maybe there's a bit of like I don't know, I'm almost being trying to like repetitiveness, like a break in repetitiveness that is action, if that makes sense, would be my only suggestion. Is the misunderstood piece related to family or DM or something else? What is the misunderstood piece? Your options. Five of Cups is like defeat. You think that you don't have this option, but the Emperor says you do, but the Hermit in reverse says you're not seeing it. Almost like if you're trying to decide between option A and option B, not realizing there's an option, not even C, but like an option with that little star thing that you use in the phone. Like that's the option. It's actually better than A or B, but you're not seeing it. I feel like it's career related. Moving career or project related. Will we keep our current home and remodel it? I would say yes with this. Playing offense, so taking action, doing things. Seven of Wands is like walls in a way. So in reverse, it's like tearing them down. So that would be a remodel. I would say, yeah, maybe even paint and stuff as well. Maybe a big, like that. Feels like there's some importance to what you're painting, or like there's importance to when you get to the paint stage, you feel this, I don't know, something nostalgic maybe about the paint stage. Is my 3D mammo and ultrasound showed a small mass, likely benign, follow-up in 6 months, just like you said. Oh, wow. That's good. That's good, right? Small mass, likely benign. Benign is good. My doctor just sent an order for another ultrasound now. Okay, let's see. Sent an order for another mammo and ultrasound. I would say I don't feel all the way in the clear yet. I feel like this is something. I almost feel like they may say something along the lines of, I don't understand this, or like, I don't understand why this is this. Almost like if they expect, Okay, this is not a literal example, but almost like if you weigh something and you're like, oh, I expected this to be 3 ounces because of the way it looks, but it's only 1. So it's like they want to keep an eye on it because it's an anomaly or it doesn't make sense and not because something's wrong. Does that make sense? Like if I pick up this can and I'm like, okay, I need to see how much this weighs. And if it weighs 12 fluid ounces, then there's a problem. And it looks like it weighs 12 fluid ounces, but I weigh it and it's like 2. And I'm like, well, there's no problem, but let me keep an eye on it. It feels like that. My son Lee and I just moved through a powerful healing process with our last conversation. Any message? The feather that tipped the scale of justice. In terms of clarity, your son and you just moved through a powerful healing. I feel like you like there's a perspective shift that he gained that maybe he hasn't said out loud yet. So you may see additional like flow opening and you're like, well, that's nice, but where did that come from? There's something else that was unlocked that maybe he didn't say out loud. Like a piece of the last piece of a puzzle fitting into place, if that makes sense. But it's something he didn't say out loud for some reason. But I wouldn't press the issue. I wouldn't say anything about it. My guy's just staring at me from over the screen. Has my absence had any impact on him? Has my absence had any impact on him? Yeah. If you have some kind of social media, this person may be keeping an eye on you with the Queen of Wands. I feel like the impact it had on this person is that they take a step forward and they get reminded by things. And they feel like they're in this back and forth loop of sorts. You have to stay over there. You're fine right there. How are our Idaho 4 friends? Let's see. Let's see. Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Wands. Grounded because now it's like we know what it is and we can see the families moving forward, but also standing in protection of something. Almost like making sure something is seen all the way through is the way I want to word that. Is my brother involved in my father's estate fraud? Is my brother involved? Huh. There's something about the signature or something about how something was signed, because I was getting a yes here. This is child. This is money. This is freedom. So I need some kind of money to be free from something that I'm experiencing. And then I said, how, or what was his role? Knight of Swords is really giving the way he's holding this, like I'm signing something or I'm the cause of how something was signed improperly or something along those lines. My cat's hiding herself in my hair because she's scared of the plumbers that aren't here right now. Will my landlord turn up to do the survey on the 4th of December? What do I need to know? Okay, you have to get down. Okay. Okay, miss separation anxiety. Nope, you have to let go. Come on. Don't go on my computer. Luna. Okay. Okay. Hopefully by the end of the week, she will not be scared of my house anymore. Will my landlord turn up to do the survey on the 4th of December? I think so, yes, with High Priestess. What do you need to know? In order to move forward, there may be something that needs to be released or altered or changed. Or there may be something You're saying landlord. So I'm wondering if there's a survey that someone tells your landlord something needs to be done and then your landlord needs to do it type of thing. Message from Jeff and a song. Message from Jeff and a song. Acknowledging that you handled a hard fall or like a hard, I'm hearing it as a hard fall, but like a hard loss of some kind in a boldly accurate way. That doesn't necessarily mean you need it to be bold though. Just like the way that you were able to stand 10 toes down in your original decision on how to handle something, even when the situation went a different direction, you stayed true to your original way of handling it. That's what's being referenced. Oh, the decision you're struggling with requires you to trust yourself more. And now you know you can because you just did that. Heaven was needing a hero. Joe D. Messina is the song. Okay. Oh, let me go to the starred list because I don't have my other computer on. How can I get out of survival mode? How can I get out of survival mode? Fallen hero and crooked path. Needing to find some kind of direction to anchor onto. It kind of feels like you're wandering aimlessly with good purpose. Yeah, 3 of Wands. Needing to pick a direction. Even if it's just a temporary project or lifestyle change or something, needing to anchor yourself to something where you know where you're heading so that you can start to reincorporate a sense of direction instead of the wandering energy. New member, thank you. I'm going to start doing tarot for new members. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away. And with strength, it feels like you got your dragon back, you got your fire back because you're willing to face your shadows instead of run from them. What is wrong with me physically? Is it what I think? Is it what I think? Yes and no. Almost like whatever you think it is, the solution is similar, but there's something off in like the actual source of the problem. Like maybe you've identified the surface issue of the problem, but now it's needing to get to the source of it, that type of thing, which I feel like is going to require someone looking at something with like a deeper scope. I don't think that's literal, but like a deeper scope. Advice from higher self. Disconnecting from what someone else's view of success looks like. Because you're on the cusp of something, but it feels like you're viewing it as you need something more beyond what you do to achieve some kind of goal. But there's some kind of almost like something that unlocks when you give yourself the credit of completing the goal, but you're thinking the goal is further out than it is. So it's like once you see something through to the end and stop moving the end point to try and say, well, I need to do this now too. I need to do this now too. When you leave the end point where it is, it's like something unlocks for you. Like a frustration that's repeating isn't as frustrating type of thing. Advice from spirit and a song. Feels like maybe you're waiting for something outside of you to relight the flame here, but it's like the flame has already been lit inside. You just have to express it externally by some kind of Page of Wands here is kind of giving like a new interest, like unlocking a new interest so that you can see yourself experiencing something that's just fun or simple. Because that's what lets the light that's already on inside come outside. And then this flips upright. Oh, Don't Wait by Dashboard Confessional. What is the biggest teaching in all of what has come up with the sale and purchase? And a song. I mean, 10 of Cups in reverse would be directly with the home, right? And then 7 of Swords in reverse is your ability to work through the problems that you didn't foresee coming, especially with the Fool. I feel like at times in the past, maybe you didn't take a step on a certain path because you wanted to figure out, okay, what are all the possible hiccups that could happen? And let me come up with a solution for them, or let me think them through so that if they happen, I'm prepared. It's like this taught you don't have to do that, because a lot of this you weren't prepared for and you were able to figure it out still. I've been so overwhelmed with work that my side stuff took a back seat. Revisiting it now. Insight, what I need to hear. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. That's where it is. Take it slowly. Treat it like a baby. Treat it like something that's growing instead of something that needs to be put onto paper or put into the computer. Ace of Wands in reverse. Maybe because you put it aside for a while, go back to the beginning and review everything and allow some like fluidity as you do that, and see if there's anything that you want to take a second look at again, or change or upgrade or anything like that. Life's been bad recently. Why and when will it improve? I'm going to do 2 more and then back to the other list. Why has life been bad recently? Because you want the opportunity to be in a higher position. You know that you have the work ethic or the motivation or discipline or a combination of those words. You know you should be able to access a higher spot. It's kind of giving like, I want a level of comfort, but I don't mind working for it. But I keep not having the opportunity to work for it. I feel like it's not going to happen quickly. I feel like the more that you focus on, okay, what could that opportunity be? And what's a step every day I could take to get closer to that? Whether it's learning something or talking to people or networking or social media, whatever it is, I feel like that'll help you start to pull out of the funk. New member, thank you. I'm going to do 2 cards now for new members instead of the Faith Over Feelings deck. You're about to take a blocked path and make it into a manifestation of sorts. But like your manifestation is the opportunity to learn something. So because of a blocked path, you're about to learn something new, and that newness helps unlock something else. It's like a domino effect. How is A feeling towards me? Like you could help them forward some way in a difficulty that they are dealing with, or vice versa. One of you helping the other one forward in something that feels confusing or foggy. All right, let me go back to this list. I think this is where I was. Yeah, because there's my brother involved in father's real estate. Message from Jeff and a song. Dark Blue by Jack's Mannequin. 2015 may be significant. You're strong enough to relight what you feel is dim right now. The fire comes from you taking the lighter and relighting it, not waiting for an outside source to do that. And you're ready to do that now, is the message. Any messages from my spirit guides for the upcoming month of December? It's almost like having fun with something that's not going ideal. Like if you are able to have fun through a frustration or a hurdle or like a sidestep, you'll close out that cycle quicker or it won't be as heavy. And it feels like it puts you into going into the new year with like a sense of accomplishment. Like, oh, I'm proud of the way I handled that type of thing. Currently, I am so blocked. Any messages from higher self on shadows I need to face? Yeah, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I feel like you needed this to come out because you needed to know it's not all in your head. Like you feel like you're walking in quicksand type of thing. The Sacred Leak and the Titan Chest. Love feared more than hate. So energy leaking. Feels like either you over poured out for others to the point of now realizing that you put yourself in a state of depletion, coupled with like when your energy is full of stuff poured in from everywhere else and it's very busy, and then all of a sudden it gets emptied out and you're realizing that you're refilling it with your own energy. It's almost like an overwhelming feeling. Like, you know, you won't betray yourself, and that the cup being filled with that is different. I kind of want to say look at the blockage as you're moving forward with self-trust and it feels very unfamiliar. So your subconscious is like, hold on, who's driving? That type of thing. I had a last interview with my company named ING last week. Will I get the job? I feel like more than likely there's a small chance that someone else gets it, but I feel like you get it. So I don't know if that's because they call the other person first and they don't take it and you get it. So there may be a delay, but I do feel like you end up getting it. Message and a song. Message and a song. Face Down by the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Mother wound. It feels like you made progress in some kind of reparenting yourself. Whatever the blockage was you were dealing with, it was only there until you reparented yourself. Showed up for yourself in the way that others didn't show up for you before, even in a state of frustration. So whatever this blockage is will be easing up because it feels like you did that successfully. After years hustling, I feel burnt out and like I'm waiting. The messages I receive say keep faith and know it's coming. I struggle with doing more to make things happen at complacency. I feel like the burnout is giving me the image of running on a treadmill. So like you can sprint as fast as you can, but it's not really getting you to a different location. So I feel like now it's about swapping that to how can I not have to be running in place, but be making forward progress towards a goal. I do feel like their complacency does seem to still be an issue with King of Wands in reverse, but overcoming complacency and getting into the mindset of self-starter, which for some reason I feel like listening to certain books may do that for you. With this combo, it's like your mind just needs to hear it, or your mind needs to understand the science of it, perhaps. Like look up audiobooks on being a self-starter and see what comes up. I feel like one of them may unlock it for you, where you start to realize what actions you can take. Any info from my guides regarding the session with Amy today? Unlocking a choice. Unlocking a choice of how to combine your Queen of Swords and King of Pentacles, how to combine your mind and taking action to build some kind of solid foundation. So it seems positive. Or if it's the other way around, you could be doing that for Amy. Happy birthday. Message for your 50th birthday from your guides or relatives. The battle didn't end yet because they're giving a final round or allowing a final round of something so that you can see yourself in action. Almost like you won't give yourself credit for something until you actually see yourself handling something that you felt like you couldn't handle, and you're like, oh, okay. So it kind of feels like it's almost like a sweet and sour birthday present, if that makes sense. You're getting to see yourself in action so you can finally give yourself the credit that you're due. Where am I? Message from Romeo. Swing, Swing by the All American Rejects just started playing. It's kind of giving like trivia or what else would, like, questionnaires or something. Like I miss maybe game night or questionnaires or trivia or like conversations or like mental play off one of another type of thing. There's some message of missing that or missing out on that. Message from Sean. You Are Not Alone by Michael Jackson. The challenge you're facing is teaching you how to let go of what's beyond your control. I feel like there's this energy of overanalyzing which step to take as opposed to just taking a step and then being in flow. Loosening grip of needing to have it all figured out will help you feel more comfortable to take the first step. What is the energy of Chris Watts in prison now? Does he feel any remorse or regret, and will he turn on Nicole? He's being haunted. Oh, yeah. I said he's being haunted, and we have the Moon and 5 of Cups. Imagine if you're in, okay, so imagine you're in a cell, but you're also, every time there's not something actively happening in the cell, you're in this cell. And this cell is essentially you not being able to stop yourself from continuously climbing up into this treehouse. And in the treehouse, it's like just memories and maybe even ghosts of his family that it's not here because of him. Because we do have the 2 trees here, the same treehouse reference 3 times, and the 2 towers, which is he put them in the. He's haunted, and good strength. It's like the dragon he can't tame. It's like he lives in this like little treehouse in his mind of memories whenever he's not actively distracted. Does he feel any remorse or regret? Embarrassment. Queen of Wands, the World reversed. Queen of Cups reversed. No, embarrassment. Embarrassment, I mean, it doesn't feel like regret. It doesn't feel like regret. It feels like embarrassment for the way that everything unfolded, and the way that if he realized what he realizes now, that he would have done things differently so that he wasn't embarrassed. Yeah, 2 of Cups reversed. Not regret, not remorse. Mm-mm. Estranged from a few family members and not sure what's the issue. What should I do? Or should I leave it alone and make them move and let them make the move? What should you do? I think there's some kind of opportunity here for you to put a hook out and see if it snap. I feel like if you wait for them to make a move, you're going to be waiting forever. And I feel like there's a certain point where you're going to feel like, okay, now I'm ready to make the move because they haven't yet. And there may be a bit of like, well, I should have just done this sooner so I wasn't constantly thinking about it. So maybe like when you feel called, knowing that I said that, when you feel called, allow yourself to do it and don't put like a I need to wait for them thing, because I feel like you're going to be waiting a lot longer than you would like to wait for answers. Will our family trip for December go well? Will we all be safe and stay healthy? We will be in large crowds. This is like overwhelming energy. Safe and healthy. Safe, yes. Healthy, no. I feel like someone ends up getting sick from the trip or on the trip. I feel like it's because of, obviously, the large crowds of some kind. Or maybe someone gets sick right before, but I kind of feel like this is caused by, but not like a serious thing, just like maybe the flu or something. But Chariot was safe, so you're going to be safe, just maybe not everyone healthy. And it kind of feels like there's some overwhelm. Not that it's going to go bad, but it feels like there's some overwhelm. Well, Harry and Meghan get stripped of their titles. Oh, what's going on there? I don't even know anything about that. Did something happen, or that's just in general? 8 of Cups in reverse. I don't think he will. Unless they say something where... that wouldn't make sense. It's probably either you do or you don't. I don't think he's going to. He might give his up. Like, maybe there's like an ultimatum, like you can walk away or this, but I don't feel like that's immediate. And I don't feel like he necessarily does. I feel like something happens with her, though. I feel I need to honor my house's worth and mine by sticking to the price. Will she agree? Not immediately, but with some convincing, you may be able to get her there. Yeah, not immediately. I kind of want to call it soft convincing, like not being bold, but like, I don't know, like a soft, almost like a, okay, well, we don't really need to go down to what you want. We can keep it. I don't know how to word it, but like a soft way to do it. You might be able to convince her. Soft convincing. What does work look like for me in the next few months? Do I stay or go? I feel like whatever the stressor is, it gets worse. And it feels like in the end, you end up doing what's right for you, which is walking away from whatever the situation is that gets worse. But I also feel like you don't need to rush. I feel like this is saying start to put feelers in place for when the time comes, because this is going to continue to stress you out. And it's more a matter of like, how much of it do you want to deal with? Message from guides with a token. A thumbtack. Okay, so something that was not a victory, that's what we're putting a pin in because it landed right there. So you're meant to be looking at some kind of loss up on the board, but from a different perspective you weren't seeing it from before, because that's what reignites the flame. So analyze what, and I just threw that in my trash can. Analyze what went wrong last time. There's something that's either a key to moving forward or a way to redo it or reignite it. Spirit testing me in regards to honoring my worth with this new house situation. I feel like it's more about, and not that it can't be that too, but this is like more about what actions you take when things don't go the way that you initially thought they would and how you redirect or reroute. So that can be showing you your self-worth, yes, but more so in like your ability to overcome something. More so than like what you put into the house or anything like that. It's like the other perspective of it. Will my husband's cancer stay away? It's the likelihood of the cancer staying away. I feel like you're in the clear for now, but not in the clear forever. Not that it comes back, but I do think there's something that ends up being a scare or something that needs to be looked into. But it feels like for now you're in the clear. Let me go back to this list. Insight to DM's feelings and intentions with me. He's open with me about his anxiety and insecurity, but I'm not sure where I stand. Is he people pleasing me? Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of people pleasing. Ace of Cups is reversed, so it's like I'm not really ready to offer you everything that I'm making it seem like I am or implying that I am. Four of Wands reversed is the lack of transparency and intentions within dynamics of people. And Eight of Cups in reverse. I mean, it could end up going further than this, but it doesn't feel like it is right now. So is he people pleasing you? I do feel like, yeah, a bit of telling you what would fit best. May everything get fixed. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What do you suggest to the collective in regards to the US of embarrassment? I think I'm doing a video on this soon, like a longer one. Look out for each other and look out for your own mind. What you focus on is what will be in your immediate reality. So if you're focusing on the fear, you're going to continue to find more reasons to be afraid. And then look out for your neighbor as best you can when you can. That would be, and also awareness and information is power. So don't let them fear monger you, but do find out what's going on so you can protect yourself to some degree. Message from A. You're on the climb back to balance, but that's going to require a lot of acknowledgement of what was not in balance. So when you meet things that you're like, okay, that can be made better, or that is not where I want it to be, or that can be balanced out better, don't blame or shame yourself. Just look at it as an opportunity to restore the balance, not flipping it back to trying to find fault in yourself, because that's how you leave the energy of the last chapter. Because the last chapter, you were finding fault in yourself for things that other people did. This chapter, you're not doing that. And it's almost like the little imbalances is the way that you rewrite that. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to find fault in myself because my junk drawer is messy. I'm just going to clean it out. Like that type of thing, hypothetically. Should I sue under the Defective Premises Act and then get out of my flat? That's a yes. Taking the swords out of your back. So there is some kind of case here with that and the King of Swords. How will it go? Tough battle. This is like a hard fought victory. So make sure before you file, you already have all of the evidence that you'll need, because it feels like they're going to give you a hard time. Anticipate them giving you a very hard time. Message from guides about me not wanting a relationship with most of my family system anymore. Finally feel done. Won't forgive, but had peace. Yeah, Knight of Cups. It kind of feels like you're making the only option that's right for you. He's holding the stick, but it also looks like it's... I actually can't tell if that's the sun or if that's part of the stick. Anyways, that's the point. It's like you made the choice that you had to allow your light to stay back on. Yeah, Knight of Swords. That would be the scissors. Queen of Swords. It's kind of giving you're no longer waiting for someone to show up differently, but for you to show up differently for yourself, it requires you to shut some doors or hold some boundaries. But if whoever you were waiting to show up differently for isn't showing up differently for you, you have to show up differently for yourself, and that requires the decisions that you made. I am working on launching a business, a mobile app. How soon will I be able to launch the initial version? And will the app have success? Oh, that's promising. Where are you now? Okay. It feels like you're at the Ace of Swords and you got to get all the way to the King of Swords before that success comes. The ticket is the Queen of Wands, confidence. Confidence comes when you get the app out and rolling and you continue to pour into it. So make it your baby. Allow it to come out and allow yourself to continue to mold and grow it, because you're going from the Ace to the 2, to the 3, to the 4, blah, 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 to the King. When you get to the King, you have success. So look at all the sword suits. Okay, first I'm going to have the idea. Okay, did that. Second, I'm going to have to make a decision. Okay, did that. What do I want to do? I want to do an app. Figure out where you're at and continue to build to the King. Make damn sure by Taking Back Sunday is the song. Do 2 more and then go back to the other list. Andra GU 4217. I see your super chats. I'm going to try and see if you left a comment on the other list to go with them. Message and a song. Message and a song. You made the hard but necessary / right decision until the day I die. Story of the year. You spilled out enough and now it's time to pour into yourself. You made the necessary but hard decision. It feels like not an external cutting someone off. It's like you reframed the power that somebody else has in your mind. It's like nobody else can see this but you needed to know that it's seen and it was the right decision. And now it's going to help you have, see that light on the light? It like lights up. What is that? Oh, it's like a little ball of light. So it like lights up your third eye. Like your third eye was lit up, but now it has a focus of where to light onto. Does that make sense? What's trying to rewire me? What's trying to rewire me? Thinking that you can't build something or expand or have a solid foundation, or you can't be financially comfortable. It's kind of that quote that's like, if you think you can't, then you won't. And if you think you can, then you will. What's trying to rewire you is you thinking you can, as it pertains to this King of Pentacles, because the light's there, you're just not seeing it. Who did the karma swap on me and why? Who did the karma swap? Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Someone you should be able to trust that's not trustworthy. that Eight of Swords in reverse wanted to free themselves from Two of Swords, the consequences of their actions. It feels like someone wanted you to not remember something, and that's what this was. If I can lock you out of remembering that, I won't be the villain in the story. But it's someone that was in a position of trust. And my throat is all itchy when I said that. I feel like you have a lot of things that you've left unsaid to this person. Message from Spirit. Message from Spirit. Don't forget how much it took to get to this point. You feel like you still have so far to go, but I feel like your spirit team is like, hold on, we're not letting you move, like holding you by the shirt. Like, we're not letting you move forward until you acknowledge how much it took to get here. We're not going to bypass this. And it's like, once you start to give yourself that credit, maybe even writing yourself a letter, like, this is what I endured that I maybe didn't realize before. It's like that unlocks something for you, whatever this is that's delayed. Will I be moving out of state in 2026? Will I be moving out of state? I don't think in 2026. There is some kind of major change, but I feel like it's after 2026. There's some kind of if you have a timing goal, I feel like the timing goal is the same time frame of the following year. So let's say you're looking at like July in 2026. It would be like July of 20. There's like a time frame of a year delay, it feels. Considering moving to Atlantic City region, or should I consider another location? Feel like you're putting yourself into a hurdle. Almost like whatever you feel to find, you don't find, if that makes sense. I would say no. I would say there's a better location. Skyway Avenue is the song. A higher location? Will my niece ever return and try to get in touch with her kids again? It kind of feels like she's in hiding or something. Like, I don't want to be found. Is she still alive? I want to say not doing well and in hiding from something, but I think she's still alive. But this is like my battery's drained. My battery's on empty. I'm hanging on by a thread type feeling, but it also feels like hiding. I don't see her getting in touch anytime soon. Was Mowich the one who said, "I'm here to help you, Dylan"? Idaho said that she heard a voice say. Was Mowich. Was Mowich. Mm-mm. There was more than one, but no, I don't think that this is kind of referencing my previous reading. I think I was talking about him going upstairs and then downstairs or something like that. That reading. This is giving me a reference from that. So no to Mowich. Is the recruiter coming back with a job offer in December? I feel like there's a bit of a delay. It looks like maybe something after the new year, because this is giving me like a goalpost, like you go through into the next year. I feel like there may be a bit of a delay. first week of January feels significant. Any messages from my guides and angels for me? Justice like spun out. You don't see it coming, but there's justice for something that rocked your ability to climb this ladder. Almost like someone came and took the rungs off of the ladder and you're about to get them back, and that's what the justice is, so you can finally climb. Is John trying to taunt my mom so that she'll react and say something so that he can look like the victim? Yeah. Lack of teamwork, trying to not have you walk away. So trying to trap you in lack of teamwork in terms of communication. I'm using my skills. It's giving dark magician, like manipulative. I know what to say to piss you off, and I'm going to say it type of thing. Why? Clear his own name. I need to look like the good guy in the story, not this. I need to put to bed this and show up as this. Clear the narrative is how I want to word that. How can we fight the Handmaid's Tale's agenda trap we're being led into? Things are moving too fast. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of time left before the trap is sprung. A decision, a collective decision to say no to something. We can defeat the plan by collectively deciding to say no. Playing offense with our power. I don't know. There's something coming that people will need to, like, it's almost like being forced to sign something or forced to agree to something. But if we all say no, they can't get to the next step, is how I'm seeing that. And also just spreading awareness, because a lot of people are still thinking that the administration is coming to save us. They're not. Allegedly. My dog Henry passed unexpectedly. Can you tell me what happened? And is he with his dad? It's giving ticking time bomb. Like maybe like a, for some reason, genetic mutation is the word that came through, but like something that wouldn't have caused the problem until it was just time to cause the problem. But it doesn't feel like there was suffering here. I'm getting like the image of like a switch, like a dimmer switch. And you know, like a dimmer switch, you can go through the different stages, but it's like the dimmer switch just went from all the way up to all the way down instead of the different stages of dimming. And the word I'm getting, or the words I'm getting, is genetic mutation or something. Like not something that you would go and be like, they're sick. That wouldn't be, there's nothing you missed. It was a dimmer switch. Yeah, Queen of Cups in reverse. From full to empty. This is the, see the cup pouring into the, that's the dimmer switch. Dimmer switch all the way down instead of all the way up. I feel like it's something that's like a circuit just turning off. And it kind of feels like no suffering as well. Even though that double card came out first, I think that's the genetic thing. Is Erica Kirk on board with Pastor McCoy's side, or is she acting to gather intel and working with Candace? Okay, is she on board with Pastor McCoy's side? She wants information. Intel. See how this bag is like coming down to the tip of this sword? I want to get the tip of the sword in my bag and then take it, receive clarity in a different direction. It's an intel grab of sorts, but specifically whatever is the edge of that sword. Oh. Who she wants to figure out who's holding the sword. Yeah, that gives a higher perspective. Like I infiltrate to figure out who's really calling the shots and who all has influence in the shot caller's brain. So is she really working with Candace? Yes. Yes. Allegedly. Feeling lost and confused with all that's going on in the USA, will I find clarity and peace with all, including family interactions? I feel like things may be affecting, like, maybe because you're not necessarily talking to anyone out loud about this, there's a need to talk it through with yourself. It just feels like there's a lot of mental traffic because you're taking in different perspectives, seeing different things, and you're like, okay, I need to hang on to these until I can understand what's going on. And they're not necessarily coming back out. So I feel like maybe doing a brain dump or just recording yourself talking about it for 20 minutes in an audio and then deleting it. That will help get back in flow. It feels like the lost and confused feeling is coming from the thought traffic because there's all of these thought cars and they're running into each other because you're doing it to try and protect yourself and get ahead of things, but then they're not coming back out. And there may be like 4 of the same car in there driving around running into each other. So needing to do some kind of brain dump feels to allow for more clarity. Message from my higher self. Message from my higher self. You're about to have a higher perspective of clarity in terms of creativity. Either a creative solution or like maybe you've been trying to be more artsy and you can't. You feel blocked. Maybe you feel like you want to reorganize something. Like whatever it is, that creative flow is being reopened because of a perspective shift. Let me go back to this list. I don't see your other comments. Let's see what you need to know. It's giving vision board, like figuring out where are you trying to head? What are you trying to accomplish? You may be spinning in circles because there's a lack of figuring out where is it that you're trying to head to. So needing to kind of pick a goal or a commitment here, it kind of feels like whatever this is, once it's picked and acted on, it leads to some kind of, I said third eye over here, but the eyes are lit up here. It's like once you make a goal externally, internally, there's an alignment as well. Oh, I did that one. What is the weird energy around me the last 3 days? It just feels heavy. Oh, Christine, I'm doing your email today, by the way. I got behind. Very behind. What is the weird energy? It feels like echoes on the way out. Like in the past, when it was the end of November, beginning of December, and you didn't have the tools that you have now, your brain would already be well into disassociation, like on the train halfway there. But you're not disassociating, and it feels like you're kind of feeling out of place because when you disassociated before during difficult times, because of not having all the tools you have now, the shadows stayed back at the train station. So now you're sitting there with the shadows and you're like, who are you guys? And they're like, we've always been here. You just usually get on the train. So it's not necessarily negative energy. It's just things that you are able to work through now with your new tools. And because you're not running from it or avoiding it, you're like, this feels different. But it's nothing you can't handle. Sugar, we're going down by Fall Out Boy. Sugar, we're going down swinging. I feel stagnant in my art. Are there any steps I can take? Feels like you're trying to plan too much, like not being in flow, but you're like, okay, I got to do this and then have it look like this, or I'm doing this for this reason, or I'm going to put this piece up on this, like doing it because you love it as opposed to doing it for the plan. Um, Even if you do one and you're like, I hate this, and then you throw it out, it just gets that energy moving again as opposed to overthinking it. Almost like your mind has linked it with stress in a way, because when you're doing it, you were thinking a lot before, and your brain is like, oh, we're already overthinking. I don't want to go overthink more. So needing to kind of find a way to not do that while you're doing the art and to do something without too much structure. My daughter graduates in December from Penn State. Message from her guides. Whatever she's scared of, she's like has a worst case scenario of something in her head, and that's not the case. I feel like there's an energy of needing to value the transition stage, almost like she's putting a lot of pressure on herself to get from A to B, C, D, E, F, G, where getting from A to B and then allowing that to integrate and teach you and then go to step B. So I guess I would say make little goals and let those achievements be meaningful. Because it feels like there's a very big goal that's a while away, and the only potential like turnaround would be her losing momentum because of the big goal being a little bit further away than a little goal would be. So making little goals in the meantime. Message from guides with token. I gotta remember I threw that other token in my trash can. A strawberry. One of these beacons, it's like you've been doing different experiments. Like, do I like this? Does this work? How is this energy? Am I ready to take off this layer of protection? Like that, whatever it is, you're about to find the beacon that helps you move towards the next goal. Page of Wands is reversed. It's like this is the beacon that reignites this. I would say whatever you're doing, you're like testing theories, or you're testing out different ways to show up, or different, whatever it is, keep doing it because you're about to find the one that fits, if that makes sense. Like you picked the right strawberry, as corny as that sounds. I need two more and then back to the other list. Message about what happened on Thanksgiving. Now that you know who you are, how easy is it for you to be pulled out of that? And you weren't, because strength came out first. But the test was, you know you have this pentacle. Are you going to throw it on the ground the second that you are challenged? Challenged by way of someone seeing you as this instead of this. Is their view of you going to make you throw the pentacle on the floor? And it didn't. It feels like it's that. However it played out. That was like the underlying energy. Is Archangel Michael one of my guides? Everything You Want by Vertical Horizon came on. Clarity. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Clarity, yes, yes. Clarity on communication to help you ground. So yes, but you know this because there was something you associated him with specifically in like successful grounding. Oh, I'm grounded. I feel like he helped me with that. That's the confirmation. Or I was able to stay grounded type of thing. Was Mark sent to me as a test? Yes and no. Not really like a test as in, are you going to pass? Because you already passed before you took the test. It was more of an opportunity to show yourself where you're at on your healing journey, that you put a burden down. You're not a people pleaser. You're not going to shrink yourself for other people. So not a test as in spirit being like, oh, are you going to pass or not? It was like a, you already passed, but you needed to show yourself that you would choose that type of thing. Like choose the right thing. Okay, let me go back to this list. Where am I? Feeling lost and confused. Did that one. Had a really emotional but healing convo with ISU. What's next for us? Where do we go from here? Not, what's that quote? Allow people to the space to do what they want to do, and then you see what they would rather do. It feels like right now you're meant to be kind of loosening any grip of control. Not that you were trying to control before, because I really don't feel like you were, but I feel like giving the other person the space to show you what they'd rather do right now is what needs to happen, because I feel like there's a peak, and then how low are we going to go in the valley, and then a peak. It's like, it feels like that. Will my swallow test show a problem? I don't think so. I don't think so. This to me was like the little thing going in to check. I don't know if that's how they do it or not, but that's what that looked like to me. And then this is like everything clear. And then this is them telling you everything clear. And I said, so is there an issue? And then this came out in reverse, which would be that thing in reverse. So I don't think it comes back clear. What am I ready to witness? What am I ready? The rest before restoration. It's like when you rest and are at ease, you start to clear out the parts of your mind that were blocking full flow, and then you can hit the ground running after. So it's like you're ready to witness yourself, like not constantly striving, but being in flow. But it requires some bit of trusting the rest period, or the restoration period. Family member 77 years old has been tripping over her feet, losing her balance. Is this a symptom of something more serious? Yes and no. I feel like there's something developing, but I don't necessarily know if it all the way relates to this. It kind of feels separate. There's a slow decline of something, and maybe the falling or whatever is like a symbol of the increase of whatever that other slow decline is, but for some reason they don't feel related. Like something that wouldn't make you trip would be slowly building up under the surface, if that makes sense. But it doesn't feel like anything that's catastrophic right now. Feels like something that later you'll look back and be like, oh, that makes sense. But it doesn't feel like it relates to the tripping, which is strange. Or like you'll look at whatever it ends up being and be like, well, that wouldn't make them trip, but the tripping was same timeline as finding something else out, if that makes sense. Stuck in procrastination and over napping mode. Any suggestions to get me moving? Let me see where that went. Abandoned inner child. Huh. Stuck in procrastination and over napping. There's something you don't want to face. I feel like maybe it relates to the time of year, or maybe it relates to this started happening when something happened that triggered that. But it kind of feels like it was easier to self-abandon at a moment that either was abandonment again or reminded you of a past abandonment. And it's like, now that you've kind of abandoned that part of yourself, it feels too hard to get it back. And I feel like what that is being in the moment. Being in the moment feels too heavy for you right now. Yeah, the moon. Needing to give yourself something fun to focus on again. Something that doesn't feel heavy or dense. Maybe it's like reading a new book series or something. Something that pulls you into the present moment, but tricks your mind into not being overwhelmed by the present moment. So think of like a book series or like a podcast where you learn something or something. Maybe you take notes. It doesn't have to be for a reason. It just needs to get your mind to feel like it's okay to be in the present moment. I don't really do gender, but let's see what comes out. Baby boy or baby girl. It's hard to tell gender with tarot because it's gender neutral, but let's see what we can get. I'm not getting gender, but I do feel like you're going to have some kind of pleasant surprise that leads to like a positive burst of emotions before birth. Like imagine you have this bubble, right? And it's like emotions that are pent up from a long time ago. Something positive happens and you have some kind of big emotional release. And then you realize that pit in your stomach, not the baby, obviously, but like the pit in your stomach, like a bad feeling, you realize that that's gone from a positive experience. It feels like it happens right before birth or right before delivery, something like that. Maybe it's like a symbolic, no. I was going to say symbolic push present, but that doesn't feel right. It feels like it would happen sooner than that. I'm learning to listen to my body. I have found peace in it. It's my mind that chatters now. How can I best regulate this moving forward? Not trying to erase the thoughts, but simply replacing them, right? So I have a thought that's saying, there's no point in doing this. You're going to fail anyway. And I just let that go by. And then I replace it with another thought. Like, I know that if I continue taking action, that I will find success. That's it. And then just let it go. And then just let it go. Eventually, your mind is going to start to get on board with what you're feeding it instead of replicating what it knew before. Trying to go faster. What to look forward to in December? Anything I need to do for it? Protect your peace when it comes to giving and receiving. When you feel energetically depleted, don't stay somewhere 4 more hours because you feel obligated. Allow yourself to create your own schedule instead of feeling like you need to adhere to other people's. Yeah, King of Wands, King of Action. What does my inner child want me to let go of? What do I need to know? Self-trust and actions. It's like when you go to take an action that your intuition or even your pattern recognition or even your logic said, yeah, that's a go. And then you go to take a step and you're like, oh, do I trust myself? That your action taking confidence and not overthinking once you've made the decision. Maybe when next time you make a decision between 2 different things, get a piece of paper or write it in your phone, right? And then when you start to waver on that, go back and look at what you wrote and be like, no, I was confident in that. It feels like that'll help reprogram that. Message for the weekend. Message for the weekend. Clearing the way for action. Clearing the way for action, but not yet taking the action. Kind of giving like spring cleaning like a part of your mind by taking some kind of external action that would be the same because you're clearing the way to receive. Was Hong Kong the worst fire ever? 7-story residential towers. 31-story towers? Oh, I did see that. I did see that because they were comparing it to 9/11 or something. Okay. Was it done on purpose? We need you to need us more. Yeah, Ace of Cups. We need you to need us more, and here's the holy grail of how we're going to do it. This is an important factor in something they're trying to put together. Trying to see anyone I didn't get yet because I'm behind here. How are they feeling now that you exposed their plan and cut ties and you feel so peaceful now? How do they know? Do they know you're exposing them all soon? I don't think they know anything. No, 6 of Cups in reverse. I don't think that they believe that you would do that. It's kind of giving if she was going to, she would have by now type of thing. I feel like that's their perspective on it. But it feels like they are watching you or keeping tabs on something. So maybe they don't really believe that you wouldn't, but maybe they're telling themselves that to like comfort them. Oh, she won't. You know, when people say that to each other because they're trying to convince themselves that that's the truth type of thing. Message from Uncle Gary and a song. Did I just unplug my mic? No. Did I just unplug my mic? Uncle Gary. Feels like Uncle Gary's going to be very vocal during the holidays. Like you'll be able to see him replying to you in different ways about this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like you're about to get some kind of confirmation about this Queen of Pentacles in reverse from Uncle Gary. And you'll know it's about that. And you'll know that the timing of it associates to Uncle Gary. It's so that this wand can turn upright. Like you can close a chapter because you have that piece of information. Will December be a better month for us, health and family? Things are moving in a better direction, but not necessarily as soon as December. Now, you may have some progress, but you're definitely not in the clear yet. It does feel like there's still some hurdles, but things are going towards. It's like the ability to nurture something back to health is opening up, but not as soon as December. So maybe that's like getting a different treatment for something or just the symptoms of something easing up, but maybe January, February. Message from highest timeline. Whatever action you just took was the exact right action to make space, make room. Something that was throwing you out of alignment has been, the cog in the wheel has been removed so the wheel can turn again, but it's because of some kind of action you took. Where there was money wounds, there's been a higher perspective shift. So self-worth, self-value, self-concept. You fixed it or something. That's how I'm hearing it. You fixed it. We're looking to buy a new home out of state. Do you see a time for this to happen? I feel like 2027, maybe early mid 2027. I do see it happening though. Whatever the obstacle is, you find a solution for it. But I feel like 2027 feels significant. One second. Oh, let me go to this list. Hold on. Will my doctor's appointment go well next week? I feel like you're pretty worried about something that's not going to be worst case scenario. I do think Queen of Pentacles in reverse, there may be something to keep an eye on, but it feels like it's balanced out with everything being okay. So no issue, keep an eye on, or no issue, make a little change type of thing. Current strong soul tie, soulmate, or karmic. Current strong soul tie, soulmate, karmic. Clearing karma that was making you not be able to see yourself clearly. So this can not, it doesn't necessarily have to play out in a negative way. It's just this person is meant to show you, remind you of who you are and have you trust that. But I don't think it's soulmate. There may be a soul tie. You're like tied together until once there's a separation, you see clearly who you are through the reflection. But again, it doesn't have to be in a negative way. New member, thank you. It feels like you're going to have the opportunity to make a choice because of something that didn't work out. One path closed, you may have grieved that, but now you're about to see that there's a fork in the road and you have multiple choices. So stay the course is the message. Should you bother filing? Should you bother filing? This was the flat, right? Is there another solution to be able to do what you want? Like to get out of the flat? I kind of feel like this is appearing as a bit of a waste of time and effort, because 8 of Cups is upright, so you're walking away unfulfilled. And the plan that you have right now, I wouldn't go forward with the plan you have right now. If you can structure a plan that would work better, maybe go forward, but not necessarily with the plan you have right now, or not with the information you have right now. So there would need to be more before proceeding. Oh, thank you. Been in a physical and emotional slump for a long while now. Will I ever get better? Yes. It feels like there's a sense of what you thought life was going to be. It's like all of a sudden you realize that what you wanted back then is not what you want now. And there's like a reconciliation of like, okay, what do I want now? And how do I produce that within my current reality? Captive rebel. And the salted wound. Soft armor and parentified child. You feel vulnerable. Something was triggered that made you feel vulnerable. Captive rebel. You feel like you're stuck. You feel like you don't want now things that you thought that you wanted back then that you set up for. And now there's like a, how do I get to somewhere where I'm happy to be? Small goals. Pick small goals and work toward them. As you work toward them, you get the chakra center spinning, and that helps you see forward. But needing to get things moving feels to be important, even if it's just little actions, they add up. Message for the weekend and a token. It's Dave. It's Cupid. And what's that? That's like the hazard thing, right? Number 77. Oh, it's the target. Cupid hit its target. Okay, Dave. Okay, what would Dave like to tell you for the weekend? Apparently, I'm not needed here. There he is again. focus on the first layer of what is built on the foundation. Maybe that's literally, maybe that's like energetically, maybe it's something in context of relations. The first layer above the foundation is where to focus. Why? Correcting an imbalance. In what ways does your environment reflect your worth and not reflect your worth? And in which ways can you make the parts that don't reflect your worth start to reflect it? Because the external is a reflection of the internal, and it feels like as you show yourself the fixing of the external, that manifests internally as well. You're like, oh, I did that. Oh, I'm proud of myself for that. Oh, I got a sign in that, or I forgot about that. It's like as you focus inward, it amplifies internally, or as you focus externally, it amplifies internally. A reorganization of energy. Can you tell me if my mom loved me, and does she love me? Truth matters. Justice. There's a line. It's like, I can love you as best as I know how to love, but then there's this line. If this line is triggered, I shut down, or I deflect, or I project, or I run, or I hide, or I get angry. Because I never learned how to love myself, as in her. I never learned how to love myself beyond this line. So when you come up and approach this line or trigger this line, I'm not able, it's like my love gets kind of turned off or turned down. Does she? Knight of Pentacles and the Fool. I feel like there's been a period of that line being pressed on, and now she feels distant. But it's a lot more about her than it is about you. She doesn't trust herself to emotion. I don't trust myself to emotion there because we're too close to the line. So I'm pulling back as the energy. So like loved you to how she knew how to love until that line was triggered, and then it became fear of what you could make her have to feel. What represents your journey right now? What card represents your journey right now? Two of Wands reversed. When everything falls apart, it gives you space to rebuild. Two more and then back to the other list. I also applied to a freelance gig this week. I need to do a take-home assessment for the weekend. Will I get the gig? If you didn't do that assignment yet, whatever way you initially planned on approaching it, I feel like if you approach it from a different way, it may be what pushes things forward. Right now, there's like some kind of lack of finality here. But if you get what you give, so almost like the take-home assignment will be making up for something else that they would have liked to see but aren't. Maybe it's a certain level of experience or something. But I wouldn't say try to woo them and like go overboard. Just make sure that it's very intelligently put together, I guess. I feel like there's a chance, but less likely than the other one. Unless that assignment is the piece that sways it. How is Elroy? 17-year-old dog. He has possible bacterial infection. How is Elroy? I feel like he's going to be okay after this. I feel like there's a bit of like a disconnection right now, but then there's also, I mean, fulfillment. It's like taking a step from the 9 to the 10 because of some kind of tool. So medicine, a different medicine, maybe another round of medicine, maybe something leads to a step forward and completion and fulfillment. But something needs to happen in between. So maybe it's like another round of medicine or a stronger medicine or something. All right, let me go back to this list. Oh, thank you, Lucky. To continue remodeling the house, should I wait on the lady who already fixed some items or look for another person? I would look for another person. It feels like the skill set isn't necessarily worth the wait. There's someone else that you could find that would be at least similar to the offering. It feels like waiting around ends up being frustrating because the wait is longer than you think. What's the energy around me the past few years? I feel like I've been struggling and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to learn. To continue to be a self-starter even when there's difficulty, but that required difficulty to you needed to build up your skills and then have difficulty to see if you would utilize the skills in the difficulty. Problem solving, pattern recognition, testing of theories with these two cards. Like, let me see if I can take this seed and make it into a whole potion. But it feels like there's resistance to balance, almost like you've gotten a bit comfortable in survival mode. So there may be some self-sabotage that you're not realizing that's keeping you there. Can you tell me I won't be in pain every single day? I don't see me at all. Does my mom hear me? Your health has gotten worse. Will you be in pain every single day? I feel like there's a way to make it more manageable, but I don't think it's necessarily with Seven of Swords coming out first. It's something that will be dealt with to a degree, but Queen of Swords says there's a way to get it to be manageable. Seven of Wands in reverse, needing to take some kind of action, not wait for it. It kind of gives like trial something, or like not like a shady trial, but like keep your eye out for out of the box methods that you haven't tried yet that would be like medically structured, but like I don't know, I just feel like there's something that it's right there, you're not seeing it as an option. Maybe it's not a place that your insurance would typically, like a, what's that word? Not maybe not holistic, but like in that general direction. There's something that could help make it more manageable. Do my sisters sense my withdrawal from them at this time? Do they even care? Oh, they sense it. They've tested it to you. It feels like. Maybe in like a very subtle way. Maybe even in a way where like you typically would hear from them, but you don't. Or maybe in like a slight baiting in to see what your reaction would be. They're definitely feeling it. I feel like they're avoiding deciding if they care. Like, I don't want to say that I care because then I care and I have to figure out why I'm upset type of thing. It's like they're avoiding the subject. What is going on with my daughter? What is going on with my daughter? Unhealthy coping mechanisms that I'm having trouble getting away from. Avoidance of emotions. I'm trying to not deal with a certain emotion, so I'm finding distractions outside of myself that aren't necessarily in alignment with my goals, and then I'm getting frustrated that I'm getting further from the goal. Almost like if there was like guards around this bush and she wants to walk away from the bush, but she has to keep walking around the bush because otherwise she's going to have to face one of the guards. That's how I'm getting it as an image. but she doesn't want to be in this cycle. 8 of Swords in reverse. Yes or no for what I think it is weird. Is it that and something else? What is it? Yes and no for what I think it is weird. Okay, so is it what you think it is? I'm still getting the same energy. It's like surface versus deeper. Surface versus, so I mean, I guess yes, but there's more to it. Is it that and something else? That could be it, that and something else. We have pentacle up, pentacle down. This would be that piece, and this would be the unknown piece. So one of them could be the surface, and one of them could be the deeper. It could be that. What does my dad want me to know? What does my dad want me to know? It's always darkest before the dawn. There's some kind of, you're like lighting these up. And after you get them all lit up, it's like these antlers that have been a burden come off. Like you can't get through certain doors, or you can't get into certain vehicles because you got these antlers on, hypothetically. It's like after they're all lit up, you're getting the pieces of it, but it's always darkest before the dawn because now you're all lit up, but you're realizing you're upside down. But if you just get the 1 or 2 more lights, then the antlers come off, type of thing. That's the reference I'm getting. It feels like you've been walking in the snow for a long time and it's about to start to get sunny again, but it feels very cold right before this happens. Trying to see if there's anyone I didn't get yet. Hold on 1 second. Should I go for the management position? Should I go for the management position? Yes. Yes, but it feels like there's one person in particular that, like, I don't know if that's the person that makes the decision or that's the person who would potentially pick someone else or hold something back. I would say don't let that person stress you out too much, or don't go out of your way to impress that person too much. Stay confident in who you are, regardless of what their opinion is, no matter how it works out. But I do think Queen of Wands, there's some confidence boost in you just going for it and not really latching on to what will happen, but just allowing yourself to go for it because you know you deserve it. Did I do the right thing by walking away from S? Yeah, it feels like that path closed. There was no more flow at this time. When someone else's waters are not full, and even if yours are, it can only flow so far. It feels like that's the image. Message from my higher self to guide me. Message from my higher self. Don't let outside opinions talk you out of your intuition and your pattern recognition and what you know is right. And let it make you turn around. This is kind of giving, you're more right on the money about something that you're like, am I right or am I not? You're right on the money about something. But it feels like there's almost some, well, I can't be that right, or it can't be that simple type of thing, but it is. Does my mom hear me, and what signs does she give me? Does my mom hear me? It's giving, of course I hear you. I didn't want to walk away from you. I'm just sitting up here listening to you all the time now. It feels like the bond that you had with her is different, where the signs that she gives you are like responses, not like a particular sign, but like the signs that she gives are responses to something that's happening, because I'm always up here watching you, so I might as well give you a sign that goes with what you're dealing with. So it's not one particular sign. A chair. I'll save you a seat. It's not one particular sign. It's like a response sign. You go through something and then you're like, oh, there's a little symbol of it. That's her. The truth I see now is that fear kept me from living fully, but love carried me through. I can see clearly now, and a baby shower or birthday is significant. Go back to this list. I'm going to close super chats. And I'm going to finish this list out. There's 5. Is the text from DJT to Epstein saying he unalived a little boy and Epstein responded, I will clean it up, true? Is the text true and accurate? That wasn't supposed to get out. Kid, that wasn't supposed to get out. I feel like there's something going on where that there's truth to, but I don't really feel all the way like there's something being misrepresented, but there's also truth. But that wasn't supposed to get out, is how I want to word that. My crown chakra has been tingling a lot recently. Meaning or significance? You're seeing something from 2 perspectives now, because you're no longer surviving it. You're able to objectively see the dark and light, the 2 sides of the coin of something. And because you're not angry at the dark sides, you're able to see more in terms of your crown chakra. Like it opens. You're no longer contracting, you're expanding. We're driving 19 hours next weekend to relocate to Florida for the winter. Any advice from your guides? Give yourself a break when you're done. Let yourself not have to like rush right into life. Allow yourself to get adjusted. Page of Swords, I just feel like maybe getting out and talking to people will help you get acclimated to the area, because this is like, I feel like a fish out of water, but then I start talking and I'm fine. Queen of Cups in reverse is kind of where I'm getting rest from. Don't expect too much of yourself all at once. It feels like the drive is going to take a lot out of you. And for some reason, I'm getting like an audiobook or something for the drive. Maybe that will help it pass faster. Or maybe that's a good way to remember the drive. Like, oh, remember we listened to that or something like that. What am I stuck on? What am I stuck on? Feeling like you need to have all of the answers before moving forward. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles. Feeling like you need to have different support or different answers before moving forward, but needing to know that you have everything you need to start where you're at and use what you have. Feels like, I guess I would word it as stuck on not realizing that you have all the pieces and you just don't need permission to use them. But I don't feel like you're waiting for permission. That's kind of how it's coming through. Dad has C in his prostate, bones, lungs, and lymph nodes. He keeps saying his machine is broken. Is his machine broken? Is his machine broken? Oh, you're saying because of that. Okay, message for him. Message for him. as difficult as it is, the level of he's getting to see life from like the tippy top of an observer mode, like almost like a hot air balloon looking down. I guess I would say don't make that feel heavy. Try to look at that as getting a view of life that not a lot of people get to view because of the need to detach from the heaviness of it, but the ability to detach because of his own spiritual growth and emotional wisdom. It's like, I don't know, getting a hot air balloon and not making everything feel heavy, but looking at it as, wow, I get this perspective of detachment, of observer mode that not a lot of people get to have. Almost like a flipping through a yearbook from the perspective of energy that is being upgraded while detached. I don't know how to word that differently. I don't know. Find a way to articulate the air balloon thing. That feels to be the most significant part. Lift it up to view things from a higher detached perspective, to detach from the heaviness. What is the outcome of the battle with my landlord, and what can I do to get my favorable outcome? What is the outcome? I feel like needing to kind of back him into a corner, like by getting enough either evidence or like documentation, or like comparing what's happening in your situation to other situations and what ended up happening there. It's like if you pile enough of that on there, it feels like you'll be able to get your way. But it kind of feels like that's legwork that you have to do. What can you do to get a favorable outcome? Amply prepare yourself for battle. It feels like the more information you can gather that show how previous circumstances similar to yours panned out, you may be able to find some wiggle room in there. All right, I'm going to do 2 more and then I have to hop off. See if there's anybody I didn't get. Why is my son stalling on getting a place to live? Subconscious belief that he'll fail. And maybe a bit of not wanting to leave a comfort zone, but a subconscious belief that almost like he feels like he's setting himself up for failure because he feels not well equipped enough to make the decisions. That feels to be where it's stemming from. Like, I feel like a fish out of water as it pertains to making a decision that I feel like is going to just lead to a turnaround of some, maybe needing to understand budgeting or planning better, something in that department. Like, when I know I can do it, I'm not stressed about it in the subconscious way. Message from my dad who just passed, and a song. The Boys of Summer by the Ataris just started playing right as I clicked on this. Message from your dad. Definitely a lot left unsaid and a lot that he wishes he could say, but also at the same time, it's kind of giving, like, as much as there is unsaid, a ripping off of a Band-Aid or something, like just like allowing it to just happen, like almost a message of, I'm trying to show you all the things and tell you all the things that I wanted to say that I didn't get time for, but at the same time, the way in which the passing happened, it's the way that, as painful as it is, if you look at it, it was kind of the way that would have been easiest out of bad options, if that makes sense. And there's also something about a window that you sit in your house, or maybe like something you keep noticing or seeing, catching your eye, a sign from him of some kind. The past does not define you. The strength you've gained from it does. And we have somewhere over the rainbow. He's definitely confirming he's up there in heaven looking down. He's like sitting on the rainbow, kicking his feet, waiting for you to notice the little signs he's sending you. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. Thank you all for being here. Oh, I actually got pretty close to the end. How did I do that? Okay, I'm going to try and do some kind of video tomorrow. We'll see. As long as my house does not explode with water. Thank you all. I will talk to you soon.